Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to another edition of Savings Minus Debt. And I thank you for being part of the SMD family today. If you're new to my channel, and hello to all the SMD family members. What's up, NC Briggs? NC Biggs. I always say Briggs. NC Biggs for being the first one in the room, man. What's going on? What's up? What's up, man? Let me turn that to vibrate. All right. So NC Biggs, that one I was telling you about, we're going to do that. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that one next after this one, because I wanted to introduce what I'm going to be bringing in as a paid video series for people that are ready to move to the next level with their finances, financially free, debt free, of course, in a way that many people don't even understand or even know, that's what these series of videos are going to be. And in more detail with just PowerPoint slides or whatever, pictures, whatever, just to make it a little more in detail so you can understand why I say the things I say. So I'm gonna give you guys another minute and a half for everybody to jump in here. What's up, Quentin? Welcome. I always give everybody 3 minutes to get up in here, and then I will introduce myself and then move on to the topic of this video, which I am really excited about. I always say I get excited about everything, because everything that's going for the purpose of what the goal I'm trying to reach is very exciting. Just the journey. People don't really understand that, but when you get out there and you find your passion, man, it's just amazing. I can't really explain it. So, but debt is obviously my passion, obviously. All right. 2 weeks and finally chapter 7. All right. I'm gonna be the first to congratulate you too, man. So get on in here. We got about 45 seconds before I'm going to get started. I always welcome everybody new. Don't be shy. Savings Minus Debt is a family, so we don't tolerate stuff like that up in here. We just money is already a sensitive subject, and people are very scared to even talk about it because they feel dumb for they should have known something, or somebody should have told them something, or whatever, right? It could be a number of reasons, but it doesn't really matter. But here you can ask that question without being made to feel like as if you're dumb for not knowing. All right. And I'll show you in a way that the majority don't even know they don't know. But anyway, here we're 3 minutes in. What's up, Jose? Welcome. I'm going to get started here. My name is LJ Young, and I'm a 100% debt-free motivational speaker and personal finance educator. I help people become financially free by helping them financially see outside what I call the debt matrix. And the debt matrix is a place where everybody lives that believes in credit and debt and financing everything that goes down in value, but still can't figure out why they're living paycheck to paycheck. They just cannot figure it out. They cannot figure out why. That's where I lived for the first 40 years of my life, worshiping the almighty credit gods, credit scores, financing this and that, and pretending everything was mine, until one day I woke up and I hit what was called a debt to income ratio. Now, there's a definition of this. If you Google it, you can see what the definition of it according to the bank is, right? But if you want the real definition, it is you followed all the rules to get the high credit score, right? You followed all the rules to get the high credit score, and you got the good job, good credit score, good salary earning, till one day they tell you no, and you can't figure out why. That's called debt to income ratio. What that means is this: mathematically, you have maxed yourself out. They're not loaning you any more money because you have no idea how deep in debt you are. And once that's what that really means. If they if they say no due to a DTI, what they're saying is this: you've maxed yourself so far out, you don't even know it. That's why we are stopping. And then they send you to the vultures, all the subprime mortgage lenders and the payday loan places. They pick you off like piranha. Okay, they just pick you off, right? People in debt, they don't know things like that, right? So this channel, long story short, I got out of debt by believing in mathematics. Okay. Let's just put it that way. As soon as I trusted math, I got out of debt. That's it. That's the only difference between the rich and the poor. The rich believe in mathematics, the poor don't. That's it. It's nothing more complicated than that, right? Well, as you guys can see, that I've been putting in work on this channel, right? Video after video after video after video after video, right? But then I started coming to the conclusion that I need to come up with a paid group, video group that people that understand what I'm saying. And basically, this room will be designed for people who believe in mathematics. Okay. When it comes to their money, they trust math. This is the group for them. These are those people. Knowing this, it allows me to be able to talk normal without explaining why, right? In this group, I'm not going to explain why it's bad to finance a car, right? I'm not going to do that. I'll do that in this free one, but in the paid group, I'm not going to explain why you're really not a homeowner if you have a mortgage, right? This is not that group. This is the next level. Just life on the north side of zero is brand new, because if you've been in debt all your life, you have no idea what it's like to live life on the north side of zero, because you've been living on the south side of zero all your life. What's up, Ultra Bright, Dave Bourne, Micro Rambo, Gabriel Nicer, welcome. So this group is for those people that are newly, and maybe you've already been here, right? You say like you've already been debt free and just been living like that, but you've not been able to tell anybody what you've been doing or how you do it because nobody will listen. So even you guys could even learn from a person like me, I promise you, because you might not understand that by being debt free, you have many, many advantages that people in debt don't. Maybe just don't know that, who knows? It could be a number of things, but it's really for everybody, right? But to get over here, you must trust math. If you don't trust in mathematics, don't even bother signing up for the group, because you'll never understand it, because it will be impossible for you to hear. Now, moving to this private group, not only is it a business move, right, and a money earning potential move, right, but also it's almost a waste of time to talk at that level on this side of things, because people that don't trust mathematics, they will never understand it. They will never get it, ever. They never can understand it if they don't believe in mathematics. They will never understand it. So it's almost a waste of time to talk at that level on this side, the free side. Okay, it's like, what's he talking about? That doesn't make sense. Nobody does that. They never stop to say, wait a minute, but is his math true? Is his math right? Yeah, then I don't have no idea why I disagree with him. See, I don't want to, it's a waste of time. Now, in this paid group, you guys can already see right now, and just on this side, this channel is unlike the majority of financial channels on YouTube. On YouTube. And you're probably thinking to yourself, how can you make such a claim, Linnell? How can you make such a claim, LJ? You know why? Because I will always be mathematically correct. Anything I teach here will always be mathematically correct. Even you can check it. And since math is an exact science, that means I will always be right. There's not many financial channels that can promise you that. I promise you that. There's many financial channels on YouTube that can promise you a lot of things, but they can't promise you this. They cannot promise you that I will always be mathematically correct. I will always be mathematically correct. No matter the situation. Put it this way. If somebody, it's like somebody puts me on a show and they believe in debt, they're already unarmed. They don't even know they're unarmed. If they believe they can get wealthy via debt, personally, they're unarmed and they don't even know it. Looking over my notes here because I don't want to miss it. Because I'm gonna give you guys a couple examples of what I mean or how I think now too. Let's see. Watch premiere is going to see if it doesn't make. Okay, so it's like, I'm gonna give you guys a couple of examples before I get started with this channel. Just saying things like this. If you just really listen to it, and it'll make sense, right? Since math and money are one, if math didn't exist, we wouldn't have the ability to count money. So if it doesn't make mathematical sense, it doesn't make financial sense either. See that simple statement, but yet people finance cars and finance phones and finance furniture. None of that, anything that you finance doesn't make mathematical sense. So if it doesn't make mathematical sense, it doesn't make financial sense either. So people just continue to do that, see? And I'll come back to that. Let me come back to that. I'm gonna leave that in the end. All right, so I'm gonna give you guys a couple of examples of how I think now. Because when you're in debt, when I was in debt, right, there's certain things that didn't make sense to me. Okay, they just didn't make sense. Now, anything I say, now this is going to be something on taxes, right? And this is what I want you to understand. I am the person you come see before you see your tax person. I am not a tax professional. I'm not claiming to understand taxes in any form or fashion. I'm just giving you mathematical things that make sense to me within the tax system. Okay? Anything, again, look at me as a person you see before you go see your tax person, your tax professional, right? I'm the person that will help you pick the right tax person. How do you do that? You ask to see their personal credit report first. It will tell you if they are the right tax person you need to see or not. If they're in debt, or if they have 20-year-old student loans, or if they have student loans older than your children, that is the wrong tax person to see. Do you understand? Okay, that's how you pick them. All right. So when I was in debt, I used to on my W-4, right? There's a box in there to say you can check so you can just not pay federal taxes, right? Just you check this box and all of a sudden, boom, they just stop taking out federal tax out of your check, right? Now, though I never checked that box, okay, I've never checked it. I always wondered why it was there, right? I used to look at it and think, why is that box there? That doesn't make sense. Everybody has to pay taxes. Why is that option even there? It just doesn't make sense to me. It's like, okay, if I check that box and then I don't have the money, then I'm gonna be in trouble. That's what I used to think. So I said, I'm gonna just leave that box unchecked so they'll do it automatically so I don't get in trouble, blah, 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 right? So this is what I've mathematically come up with regarding that box, okay? This is my mathematical observation of that box, okay? Now, of course, I'm sure if you look up in the tax code and say, hey, what does that box mean or whatever, right? It's going to give you a legal tax code definition. I'm just going to give you a mathematical one, all right? And this is what I say. Now, the first one, and I only see these things after I got out of debt. And this is what's going to be in the private room, okay? The paid room. All right, now that box could go two ways, right? It really has an option to go two ways on that box. All right. And it's legal. The box is there. So it's obviously whatever you check, uncheck is obviously a legal decision because it's there. Okay. So if you get a person deep in debt and they believe taxes are the very thing that's keeping them in debt, the majority of those people are going to check that box. How do I know this? I know they do that. Now, people in debt check the box. They think, okay, this is what people in debt, this is what happens to people in debt. They'll check the box. They'll stop getting federal tax taken out of their check. They'll get away with it 1 year. Then they'll get away with it 2 years. They'll get away with it 3 years, right? And then all of a sudden they will adjust their lifestyle according to not paying federal taxes. This checking that box is clear that that's what's going to happen, but people in debt don't see it that way because they don't believe in mathematics. That's why they check that box. But anyway, they check it, and then the final year, the 3-4 years, maybe I don't know, IRS got all the time in the world, whatever. They come knocking on your door and say, "Hey, man, you checked that box, right? Yeah, you owe us federal taxes." Then guess what? The person in debt, they're not going to have the money. Guess what? Now penalties and fees on a payment plan and interest. Let me say that one more time. Instead of paying your taxes the right way the first time, now you're paying even more in taxes for penalties and fees and interest. You see what I'm saying? I'm just like, that's why, honestly, I was in debt, so I really didn't know about money, but I knew not to check that box. It just didn't make any sense. Hey, man, you can go to prison if you don't pay taxes. Why is that box sitting there? Okay, well, I'm not gonna check it. Right now, here's the other side of the box. Okay, now listen. Now, whatever I say, I want you to take this information to your tax professional. All right, now listen to me closely. When you're debt free and you check that box, they stop taking federal taxes out of your check immediately, right? Well, in your mind, you know you're going to have to pay it, right? But when you're not in debt, you always have money. Okay. When you have no debt, you will always have money. So whatever the tax bill is, you will always have the money to pay it. So don't even worry about it. You will always have the money. I promise you. You don't have to take away 20% and put it here. I mean, you do that for other reasons, but I'm just saying in general, you will never have to say, "Hey, man, I got to put away 20% for taxes." And I promise you will always have the money. So don't even worry about that, right? So and this is just as an employee. Are they saying if I check that box as a debt-free person on April 15th, that's when I have to write a check to pay that bill? If the answer is yes, that means I get to keep my money and do with it as I wish the whole entire year, invested in something, make some other money off of it. And then at the end of the year, when the IRS says, "Hey, you checked that box, you didn't pay federal tax, you need federal taxes. Here, we need a check," and then you just write the check. Everything's legal to me. I'm assuming that's why that box is there. It could go either way, but it sounds legal. Now, like I said, go see your tax professional. And here's another one. This is another one I thought too, right? Now, there's always you can withhold taxes, right? And there's always a limit. I mean, you can't withhold too much. You'll get taxed and penalties and fees, right? If you do that, right? So as a debt-free person, why wouldn't I? Say like I had a limit of $1,000 of over withholding, right? What if I did that, right? According to the law, this is just made up. Okay, go see a professional. But I'm just giving you a general example. Say like the example was I couldn't go over more than $1,000 in too much withholding, right? So why wouldn't I go up to like 900? I'll go up to like 900. That would automatically extend me keeping more of my money during the year before I have to write that check. I would have never even known to even look at that when I was in debt. Okay, never. And everything. Now remember, everything I'm telling you, you only do it legally. Go see a tax professional. This is how you see a tax professional. Ask to see their personal credit report first. Then you'll know if you have a tax professional. Because I promise you this, a person that's doing your taxes and they're deep and they got 25-year-old student loans. Put it this way. If you have a tax professional and they got student loans older than their children, you have the wrong tax professional. I promise you this. Sorry, looking at my notes here. Limit how much? Oh, okay. These are different. How many times people not now? Oh, this is what I wanted. That's what I wanted to come back to. 1 second. Okay, so life on the north side of zero. Okay. Now here's the other part. These videos, but now those are just examples of what's happening in the real world. Blah blah blah. Right. Now this is the more psychological part of north side of zero. Okay. Once you're on the north side of zero, now you have felt the pain of paying all that money back you spent. You felt the pain of fixing what you messed up. That and believe me, that's part of the process. Part of the process is paying back what you owed. Why? Because the pain of it will always, you will never forget the pain of paying back that much money, working hard hour after hour, just passing your check over to the debt place, to the bank over and over and over again until one day it stops. And then you're going to be like, I'm never doing that again. That's what's part of the process. Now, once you're over here, now you believe in mathematics. Now, here's where the rough parts happen. This is where the rough part happens. When you see it was all just basic mathematics, you're going to go through a phase. You're going to go through a phase of being mad at yourself. You know why? This is what's going to happen. You're going to think back about all the stuff you financed, the vacations you went on, the stupid money you spent in Vegas. You think about it. You think about every single penny of that debt. And this is what you're going to think like. This is how you're going to think. Damn. All those things I was doing was keeping me in slavery, debt bondage slavery longer. Now, being on this side, man, every day for me, and I don't know what level I am. I don't even know if levels clearly exist, okay, but I don't know what level I'm on. All right. I can't say that because I'm new, right? But every day gets worse. What I mean by get worse is every day a new piece of the financial puzzle comes together for me. And when I say worse, when it clicks and when it comes together, it ends up being something so stupid and simple and right in my face. And for you parents that have your kids follow me now, I don't really cuss a lot. I don't. But when I do, it's to emphasize something that's very important. Right? It's like I always say, it's like banging on the plexiglass of the people inside of the debt matrix. Say like the debt matrix was made out of plexiglass, and I cursed. Cursing gets people's attention. Like that's why people cuss, like so they can get somebody riled up or, oh my God, yeah, they want my attention by saying this curse word. This is how I'm using that curse word, right? When a piece of the puzzle comes into focus, right? When it comes into focus, sometimes I just go, fuck. You see did you hear how I said it? That's anger at myself for not seeing something so simple to see. I don't cuss to be cussing. I cuss so you guys can hear it and feel it, what it's like when you're in debt. There's so much you don't see, man. I can't explain it to those people. When I say it like that to myself, and then you think I'm gonna just waste my time and talk to people that don't even believe in mathematics, that is a total waste of time. You think I can walk up to a person that say, "Hey, LJ, are you a homeowner?" And then LJ, you're a homeowner? I'll say no, and then I'll say, "Are you?" And then they'll say, "Yeah," and I'll say, "You know the difference between me and you?" "Yeah, I know I'm not a homeowner." You think you could tell somebody with a mortgage that they're not a homeowner? They won't even believe you. I'm not explaining things to people like that. This is the group ready. This is the group people are ready to see what's how to live on the north side of zero, period. When you're on this side, you can see what the wealthy do. It's clear. You don't need to be wealthy to see what the wealthy do with money. That's a myth. Only people in debt believe it's a secret. It's not. None of it's a secret. None of it's a secret. And I'm gonna tell you what, if you want to, if you're older and you're new to the group, don't worry about that. Don't worry. I woulda, coulda, shoulda. If I'd known this, everybody, if you just listen to the different ages that even listen to this channel, right? They all say the same thing. Hey, man, had I known it at this age, a 30-year-old will say, man, had I known this at 25. A 25-year-old say, hey, man, had I known this at 18. It doesn't matter your age. It doesn't matter. Get over that point. Just the younger you are, the more time you have. Hopefully, nothing's guaranteed. Get over that point. I mean, is that the psychological part you're going to go through? Yeah, it's going to be part of the process. Yeah, that's it happens the way it happens. Get over it. Start thinking about living your passion, figuring out how to earn money from it. Don't listen to people in debt. Have you noticed everybody, the majority of people in debt want to be millionaires? Have you noticed that? Ask any one of them, hey, do you know how much debt you're in? They will not have a clue. And then you got to think to yourself, how in the hell are you going to become a millionaire if you don't even know how much debt you're in? That's mathematically impossible. They cannot see it or hear it when you say that, even if you said that. So when you come over here to the north side of zero, you're going to be excited because you're going to want all your family and friends to do the same thing to you, same thing you just did, and because you want to express to them how free it is. Stop. You're only going to frustrate yourself. They cannot hear you, especially now. If you live on the north side of zero right now and you're trying to talk to somebody in debt, right now they're especially not going to hear you. There's a pandemic going on. You think they're thinking about getting out of debt? Hell no. But in reality, they're just digging themselves deeper, and they're digging themselves deeper in the hole. If a person in debt thinks $1 million is a lot of money, what do you think $2 trillion sounds like to them? I'm going to say that one more time. The majority of people in debt want to be millionaires, but they have not a clue of how much debt they're in. So if they think $1 million is a lot of money, what do you think $2 trillion sounds like to them? Some beyond belief number that they will never ever reach in their entire lives. That's how they think about $2 trillion. What they can't see is that they're going to get 10 times that back in taxes. People in debt can't see that. They got to pay taxes on all that money. That's not free. Nothing's free. Everybody knows that. Oop, not people in debt. They don't know that. How many people you think are checking that box to say, hey, I'm going to pay this unemployment tax now or later? How many you think are choosing later? The majority are choosing later. You know why? Because they don't have it now. And now is the only thing that matters and will ever matter is now. The future doesn't even exist except for the bank. The future doesn't even exist. They don't know that. Except when they promise 84 months of their future earnings to the bank. It's real for the bank. It's not real for the person in debt. They don't know that. So you're going to see your loved ones just digging themselves deeper and deeper in debt. They just keep on digging. They're not going to stop. And you got to remember, it's by choice. This is the psychological part that you're going to go through. Sorry, you're going to have to do it. When you tell them no when they ask you to borrow money, and you tell them no because you know they're in debt, if you let them borrow money, you know you're not going to get it back. So you have to tell them no, or you tell them that you're going to give it to them. They will have, now listen closely, they will have no clue why they're asking to borrow money from you, even though it's apparent. You can't turn to them and say, you're borrowing money because you have no money. You can't say that to them. They can't hear you and never will unless they trust mathematics. That's it. When you come on this side, you will understand that the only difference between the wealthy and the poor, the wealthy believe in mathematics. That is it. No, well, let me say that back. Okay. The rich, the rich believe in, sorry, let me get a drink. I know people interchange rich and wealthy. Okay. They're not the same. Okay. Rich and wealthy are not the same. Rich means you have a lot of money. Wealthy means you own the time in your life. The most valuable commodity on earth is time. Nothing trumps it. Nothing. Nothing trumps time. You can't get more of it. You can get more money. You can't get more time. Nobody can. Everybody's equal on that. The only difference between the rich and the poor, the rich believe in mathematics. That's it. It's nothing fancy. There, I know on social media say, "Hey, rich become rich" is a secret. No, it's not. All you gotta do is trust in math or not. It's your choice. But to be wealthy, not only do you have money, you have time because you own it. How many people you think in the world? Listen to me closely. How many people you think in the world own every minute of their day? How many people you think own how many people you think that? Now, I'm not talking about the business owners and the entrepreneurs where their job owns them. I'm not even talking to you. It doesn't even matter how much money you make. How much of your time do you own? I've owned every single minute of mine for the last 5 years. Every single minute. If I wanted to sleep all day, I did it. If I wanted to wake up and be lazy for 5 to 6 hours, I did it. People say, "Oh man, you sleep all day, this and that, and da da da." You know why I did it? Why? Because I can. You can't. If you're in debt, you have to work. When you're not in debt, you can be lazy. You got to earn the right to be lazy, though. You can't be lazy and in debt. You cannot be lazy and in debt at the same time. You can't do that. That's impossible. But if you stay out of debt and figure out a way you can be lazy, you can be lazy. You can do anything you want. You know the difference is you're not a slave. Slaves can't be lazy. They have to work. When you're not a slave, you do what you want. Welcome to the other side. Welcome. Now, if you're just crossing over zero, man, you a newborn baby. I'm gonna tell you that right now. You're just a newborn baby. It doesn't even matter your age. You could be a 55-year-old newborn baby. That's okay. You're a financial newborn baby. And if you're 18 or 19 years old, congratulations. You are going to be rich. Congratulations. If you join, I'll tell you what, if you 18, 19 and you join my private YouTube video group or whatever it's going to be, whatever it's called, right? This is all new to me. You're going to be rich. And you'll know exactly how to do it. You'll know exactly how to do it. And you'll know how to pair up with the right people too. Like when you're 18, man, and you listen to what I'm saying right now, you'll know how to do it, how to become a millionaire, and you'll know the right people to deal with. All you got to do is ask to see the personal credit report. Anybody you do business with, ask to see their personal credit report because it should look like yours. You guys' credit reports would look damn near like twins. If they know what they're doing when it comes to money, because you got to remember, personal finances are a personal business of the person. People in debt don't know that. The personal business of you is your credit, is your debt. Like if you add up all your debt, right? Now, those new you guys listen on the other side. If you add up all your debt and your finances are in the negative, you're out of business personally. You're in debt. You're bankrupt. You're done. Now, if they don't run their personal business like a business, you think they're going to run a business outside of themselves better than the one inside of themselves? They're not. I promise you, they're not. They're going to run some outside entity better than their own entity within themselves? Nobody does that. I promise you, nobody does that. Nobody does that. And this is how you'll navigate through life too. This is kind of off topic, but when you're young and you're dating, let me tell you something. You stay debt free, you will never take anybody serious that's in debt. I promise you, you won't. I promise you, you will not. You get out of debt, I promise you, you will not date someone seriously if they're in debt. I promise you. You know how much of a headache you're going to save yourself from the divorce rate and all that stuff? I promise you. They always say money is the reason, the number one cause for divorce. No, it's not. It's debt. And if you're out of debt, you don't take somebody serious that's in debt, you'll never be part of that statistic. You won't even be part of it. Because you'll never allow it to happen because a person's in debt. If you get with somebody, if you're not in debt and you get with somebody that's $100,000 in student loan debt and don't care about getting out of the student loan debt, and they're okay with paying on the student loan their entire life, there is no way in hell you're going to legally tie yourself to a person like that. I promise you. I promise you that. Cosmic Wisdom said, I'm going back to look at more than a credit report to do business with someone. I'm going to need that income statement and balance sheet and references to start an additional to, you know what? And I agree. I mean, I understand. I totally understand because it's different. But I know what you're saying, Cosmic, but I'm just saying it all starts with personally. That even outside of their business, they're not going to treat a business finances better than their own finances. They're not. So it starts there. If you see that, you already know the business finances are going to be shot. It just, they don't know anything else. So they're going to take it to that next one. Cosmic says, as nice to say, I'm going to need to see your books. Sure is. It'll be different topics like that. It'll be high level. Damn, I don't even want to say high level. Let me say that. It not high level. It'll just be mathematically structured responses and answers to things that happen in the world that you don't see when you're in debt. And here, I'm going to point those things out because I can see them. Like, I'm going to give you, here's another example. When you hear TV, news, social media say, hey, the average car payment is $500 a month, okay? The average is made up of millions upon millions upon millions of people making the same financial decisions as one, okay? So they group those guys all together, all the people in debt, they group them all together and say, out of all these people doing the same damn things, what is the average car payment between them all? And then they come up with 500, right? They come up with some formula, right? And so if your car payment is around $500 a month, you are part of the collective average, like the Borg. You know the Star Trek Borg? You're part of the collective average. Over here, we're not. We're on the north side of zero, so we are not part of the average. So when they talk about that, you look at it this way: $500 times 12, 1 year is $6,000. Okay, $6,000. Now, living on the north side of zero, and we're not part of the average, we now make $6,000 more per year than the average. See what I'm saying? So a better breakdown. So say like you worked in the office, and all of you, say like there was 5 of you, right? And you all made the same amount, $100,000 a year. But out of them, you're the only one that's debt free. They all have car payments. So at the end of the year, they will have spent $6,000 each, while you have $6,000 more in your bank account because you're not part of the average $500 a month payment. That's called phantom income. Those are the things I'll be sharing, right? And it'll also be other SMD family members in there answering questions with factual mathematical answers. You know, this group will be more for you to one day not need me anymore. And eventually you'll get there. I promise you, you won't even need me anymore. And that's where I want to take you to where you don't need me. So when you get out into the world, you'll see how easy it is to navigate it by simply trusting mathematics. I promise you. If you always trust math with your money, you will be rich. And the richer you are, the more time of your life you own. And then one day you'll become wealthy by what? Owning all the time in your life. Gabriel says, LJ, what's your thought on airline miles on credit cards? It doesn't even exist. All that stuff that people think they're getting, like people in debt, they believe they're getting airline miles. They believe they're getting that. They're just computer digits on a screen that they change. They're not getting anything. You can't get nothing while you're in debt. So say like somebody has $100,000 in student loan debt, right? Now listen to this closely. Especially if you're new to the channel, if you have $100,000 in student loan debt, right, and you get a $5,000 airline credit card, to use so you can get airline miles and all this other stuff, right? Now, according to mathematics, if you have $100,000 in student loan debt and then you add another $5,000 in debt, you are now $105,000 in the negative. Okay, you're in the negative. So with each dollar you spend on a credit card, right, you're not earning anything. You're in the negative. It doesn't even exist. So if you think you're getting airline miles, that's an illusion. That's a mathematical illusion. You can't earn anything when you're $105,000 in debt. That is mathematically impossible. I know you think that if you think you're getting a free ticket and you think you're flying a pal, I get it, because you can physically see that person that you're picking up and going to get, and you're walking through the airline, you're checking in your baggage, and you fly to the state you think you're getting there for free. Whatever. It's all an illusion. You can't do any of that with negative $105,000. This what, if you believe you can, this is what I want you to do. The next trip you go on, I want you to go up to, while you're $105,000 in debt, I want you to go up to a car lot and say, hey, I want to buy a car. They're going to say, how much cash you have? You say, negative $105,000. Which car can I get on the lot? And then see what happens. But for some reason, in that same scenario, you believe you're getting free airline miles and buddy passes and all this stuff. It doesn't make math, because it's an illusion. But if you believe it, you just believe it. My new private group, we're not explaining that. I'm not explaining that. This is for the next level thinkers. Algorithm Nation perks are just things to entice you into owing more money. Exactly. That's all. It's business. Now, don't get me wrong. When I talk about the airlines, hey, whatever they're doing is legal and it's making money. I'm proud of them. I'm not anybody that's making a lot of money legally, making business. Hey, do your thing. Do your thing. I remember I was talking to one of my friends, I was thinking like this. I was like, you know what? How does, and Cosmic might be able to answer this question. We were talking and we're like, man, when businesses collect our taxes for us, federal tax, Social Security tax, all this other tax, right? When do they write that check to the IRS? Do they write a check quarterly? So that would mean, check this out. If they collect all the taxes for their employees, do all of it right? And they don't have to write a check until quarterly. So that means they would get 3 whole months of interest on that money before they actually have to write a check to the IRS. Can you imagine how much money that is? Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but that's just something that just popped in my mind. I don't know if that's true. Somebody that owns a business, maybe you guys can tell me that if you pull all the taxes out of your employees' checks for whatever, all the rules, the IRS, right? When is that check required by the IRS? Quarterly? So you get 3 whole months of interest of holding that money? Oh, man. I don't know. I need somebody to answer that question. Those are the things I think about now. That's why I always, when things come to light, sometimes I get angry because there's when you get out of debt, there's 2 different rules for the tax system. There is. No, excuse me. Let me say it like that. Let me take that back. There's no 2 sets of rules. Taxes are just taxes, all right? They're not good or bad. They're just taxes, right? Either you believe in mathematics or you don't, is how you're going to end up paying taxes. If you don't believe in mathematics, taxes are going to be very bad for you. Very bad. They're going to be evil. But if you trust mathematics, then they'll be good for you. Like on the north side of zero, I don't watch the news when it comes to finance, money, and all this other stuff. I don't watch Wall Street. I don't watch the stocks and all this other stuff. No, I don't watch any of that stuff. You know what I do? This is the only question I ask myself. What would the majority do? The majority are going to do what they're told because they're in debt. It doesn't matter what they look like. Doesn't matter what kind of car they drive. It doesn't matter where they live. It doesn't matter if they live in Calabasas or along the lake somewhere. None of that matters. None of it. They're either going to be in debt or they're not. All I do is, what would the majority do? If they're going to do that, that's where I go. If I want to invest, I like, okay, they're going to do that. So I'll just do the opposite of that, or, do something that's going to benefit me because I know what the herd is going to do. This is what I'm going to share with you guys in this group. These are the things I'm going to share with you. And remember, everything I share is going to be legal. Okay. And it's going to be mathematically correct. There's absolutely, now listen to me, especially if you're young, there is absolutely no reason to cheat on your taxes. None. If you got somebody doing your taxes and they even sound like they're cheating on your taxes, stop using them. There's absolutely no reason to cheat on your taxes. Cosmic says, great question. I believe businesses are required to send taxes in quarterly. That's why I do real estate, because I don't have to pay the tax that tax at all legally. And you see what I'm saying, Cosmic? So if a big business collects all the employees' taxes for them and sit on the money for 3 months, they're always going to have the money to pay the taxes. They just make sure they have a professional business doing their stuff right, and then they just tell the professional business, hey, at the end of these 3 blah 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 quarter, make sure that whatever the tax bill is, pay it, and then they get to keep all that interest earned off all that money. God damn. I would have never saw that in a million years. Never. Then you add in the federal tax, and then you add in the money they collect for creating a 401k. What else? Because you think about it, people in debt, they don't even have money to contribute to their 401k. But if they believe they do, they'll contribute money that doesn't even exist, which is pretty much profit for the business for even, oh my goodness, it just goes on and on and on. What's up, Lord Vale? This is what happens on the north side of zero. Things just start to connect like freaking Pac-Man. If you're new to this side, on the north side of zero, and you never liked your job, let me tell you something. Your job is going to irritate the hell out of you now that you're financially free. Be ready. Be ready. Your job is going to irritate you if you already don't like it. Now, if you love your job, it's probably going to get better, but even if you love your job, you're still going to see some things, like, say like this. Let me give an example. Say like you love your job, but you've been in debt all your life, right? Once you get out of debt, you're still going to love your job, but you're going to identify things that were happening. And when I say things happening, when you are working off the clock for free, okay, this is going to be apparent, because once you're debt free, you realize time is the most valuable thing on earth, and then you're gonna respect it more. You're going to take care of it more. I promise you. And then so you're gonna notice. You're gonna notice when your job asks you to do something for free. Hey, be a team player. Do this, that. Or you're gonna say, "Am I doing it for free?" No, then no. But you're going to realize how long you've been doing it. This is the psychological part. You're going to realize how long you've been doing it, and then you're going to add up all those minutes, the hours, the days that you worked for free. You're going to add it all up. And you're going to realize that is time you could have did something with someone. I don't care if it was to sleep all day, anything you wanted to do. See what I'm saying? It wasn't yours to do it. So if you really wanted just to sleep all day, you couldn't do it because you gave it away for free. That's why you couldn't do it. You're going to add all that up. Believe that. You're going to add it all up. Then you're going to tell your job no. And then they're going to think you're an oddball for doing something like that, because why? The majority of people in debt, and they continue to accept it. Now you're going to have a problem. Because you're not, when you go to job interviews, you're not going to be just going to a job interview and crossing your fingers hoping you're going to get it. No, you're going to go to the job interview to see if you even want to work there, and if they're going to pay you what you demand, not what they're offering. I don't care what you're offering. I want 60,000, 70,000. If you're really good at what you're going to do, if you're really good at what you do, you're going to get it, as long as you demand it. Okay? They'll give it to you. If you're good at what you do, you'll get what you deserve. Well, you might be right on that, Cosmic, because that's pre-tax. So I was just throwing that in there just to see if they get, I'm sure they get, like, when I'm referring to as tax breaks. What kind of tax breaks are they getting on, putting a 401k together? See what I'm saying? So if you combine tax breaks with tax collection of money sitting in their banks for 3 to 4 months earning interest, and then they just write the check, people, like I said, go see your tax professional. You can start, the more I think about it right now, you can start a business by starting with the business of yourself. Okay. Now, what I mean by that is this: now that you're financially free, you're debt free. Now you can use a 401k for what its real purpose is: tax savings. The part you see for retirement, that's just like frosting on the cake. Okay, that's a match. That's frosting. The money that's going into your retirement, growing, that's frosting. But the real cake is the taxes. Okay, the cake is the taxes. Same with the HS. Now, people in debt, they can't take advantage of that because they're in debt. They don't have the money to put $19,500 in a retirement account and save taxes. They can't do that. They can't afford it, nor can they see it. Right? That's basically like writing off taxes that you don't have to pay if you know, right? And then you move on to HSA. You do that. You max it out. You not only do you get to put away money, tax-free money, to pay your out-of-pocket medical expenses, but you're paying 100% of the dollar, while all the other people are spending. They only got they don't even have a full dollar. They just have 70 cents. They don't know they have to add another 30 to everything they spend because money's already taxed once. See, all that's money in your pocket. And same thing now. Hey man, go ask your tax person. Hey man, if I uncheck that withheld federal taxes on my W-4, do I just write them a check at the end of the year? Yeah. And that's legal? Yeah. Okay, cool. Then I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go and check that box. Don't withhold any federal tax. If that's true, I'll get it again. Go see a tax professional to give you that answer. Okay. If the answer is yes, and I don't see why not. That's why the box is there in the first place. It wouldn't even be there if you couldn't do it. This doesn't make sense to be there. Okay. It's got to be legal. Check the box. Say, I'll just write him a check. Because right now, remember, you're debt free. You will always have money to pay your taxes. Always. Now you get even a better tax professional that understands where to put some money in the right places to earn interest at what for this tax purposes. That's where they come in. You say, hey man, I'm gonna put some money away for I want money to sit somewhere for taxes. What's the best place I can sit that money that it'll grow, but I can write a check right away to the IRS to pay the taxes right away, blah, 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 whatever. You tell them what you want to do in your mind, and the professional person, they should know what you're talking about, especially a debt-free tax person. They will know exactly. Again, I cannot stress this more. Okay, listen, this is very important. Do not use a tax person that is deep in debt. They will not understand why you're asking them these questions. They're in debt. It's impossible. It's impossible. Okay. They're in debt. You cannot trust a tax person with 20-year-old student loans. Don't. So you must, in order to translate this right to the right professional, because I promise you this, can you imagine how many debt-free tax professionals are out there that they can't even, they want to advertise to their clients, but how do you explain that they're the best tax person because they're debt-free? How do you explain that to somebody in debt? That's very difficult. A professional debt-free tax person can't go up to a client and say, hey, client, you should use me because I don't have any debt. So I understand the tax system way different than a tax person that's in debt. I promise you that. And I can prove it. These tax professionals can prove it with mathematics. You can prove it. But people in debt, they all just worry about how much they're getting back. That's not the point. I can't even imagine how hard it must be for them. I can't even imagine. Once they hear me, I know I'm gonna connect with those tax professionals. If you're a tax professional and you're financially free, please get with me, please. Please, we can work well together. I promise you, we can work well because you get with me, you're financially free, debt free. People that trust me, I'm gonna pass them to you. Hey, I need some tax advice right over there. Why? She's debt free. She'll know exactly the language that you need to hear. I promise you, he, she, whatever. Mecca says, okay, so you really don't rip the benefits of tax free unless you're debt free. Correct. Put it this way, Mecca. Math is an exact science. It's mathematically impossible for you to reap the benefits of taxes if you're in debt. That is mathematically impossible. You cannot. That's impossible. People in debt. This is why they call it phantom income, Mecca. It's only phantom to those whom are in debt. To those who do not trust mathematics, it's phantom to them. Go tell somebody about phantom income. They won't even hear what you're saying or see it. You know why? Because it's phantom to them. That's why, hence the word phantom. It's like, here, let me give you another example, Mecca. People think if they put away money in their 401k, it's going to help them reduce their taxes. That's what they believe. People in debt believe that. That only applies to people not in debt. So say like somebody wants to put $5,000 into their 401k. So supposedly they're supposed to get $5,000 off their taxes that year. Yeah, they will. Yeah, they still do. But listen, add up all your savings, add up all your debt. Savings minus debt equals how much money you have to contribute to your 401k. Now, usually that's a large negative number. So here's the glitch in the debt matrix. If you have a large negative number, how can you use this money? How can you use negative dollars to deposit into your 401k to contribute to your 401k? That's impossible. So knowing that's impossible, why in the world would you think you're getting $5,000 off your taxes that year? No, you're not. But if you believe it, I guess you believe it. Nice says, what's the word on the SMD shirts? Can you get them made up? Yeah, I haven't even tried during this pandemic. Haven't even tried during this pandemic. Things have been kind of crazy. So I'm just like, I'm more nice. I'm just like you. I'm more just watching to see what's going to happen. Right. I still don't know. I still don't know where it's going. Right. I'm just, and I don't try to predict what the government says. I just watch people, what are the majority thinking? Oh, they're thinking businesses are open. Things are going to go back to normal. Okay. Well, we know that's not true. So the majority are going to believe it. So if they believe that, what's going to happen? This is how I think. This is how I walk it through. The businesses are opening up, but they're going to be at 50% capacity. Plus people don't on top of the 50% capacity, people don't trust germs, coronavirus still out there, right? So things are definitely, so when they come back 50% capacity at 20% less pay, because they're not going to, first of all, they're not coming back getting the same pay. That's not happening. Everybody else taking a 20% pay cut. You think these people going back to work or not? Okay, that's not going to happen. Then they're going to they only need 50% of the people if they have 50% capacity. Then that means 50% of hours, because they won't need them, and it's gonna get worse and worse and worse. So I don't know. And then they're gonna make way less than what they were making on unemployment when it stops. Come July 31st, it stops. Then what they're gonna do? This is what I think. Okay, they're broke. They won't be able to do nothing. They probably start protesting against social distancing. They'll think social distancing is the reason why business is not normal. Okay, so then that'll go out the roof, right? Social distancing right now, if you go to the cities right now, social distancing is not even being enforced, right? I mean, some are getting forced because they're making money off the tickets. All right, what a way to make money, right? But you got to remember, the more they're in debt, so they're going to be looking more and more to make money, so they're going to ignore social distancing more and more. And then once they figure out that it has nothing to do with the social distancing, because it's much bigger than that, then what? What happens when the stimulus money stops? Then what? What I see a lot of homelessness and crime. That's what I see. I see a lot of homelessness and crime. That's what I see. There's no jobs. What's up, Ken? Always, man. I love what I do. Absolutely love what I do. Black Knight says 401k and 3B were designed to encourage people to save for their retirement. The employee does receive a tax benefit, but the real tax advantage goes to the business owner. Yeah, that's what I mean. The real tax advantage goes to the business owner. But you can start with yourself as a business, man. You can take advantage of these. You can do yourself right now as a business. You got to be debt free first. That's number one, right? You got to understand that if your finances are in the negative, the business of you is in debt. You're bankrupt. You're not in business. Change that. And then once you're out of debt, you start take advantage of the tax advantage that you have as an employee, but in a different way than a regular employee, right? 401ks, HSAs, looking in the bounds of the taxes. Say like check, like I was saying earlier, check the box of don't withhold for federal taxes. Write a check at the end of the year or the quarterly. I don't know. Ask your professional tax person, right? Ask them, hey, how much? What's the limit I can withhold without getting in trouble? And then you just push it to that. It's sort of like when you travel, right? You can't take more than $10,000 in currency, right? You can't take more than that, or else you're gonna get in trouble. You're gonna get a fine. So instead, you bring $9,999, right? You're within the law. So they put, hey, you got all this money? Yeah, it's $9,999. Okay, here you go, because that's the law. The law is $10,000. Same thing. So taxes, you do the same. You push it to the limit to where you can't before you get in trouble, and you just stop. And you just keep more of your money if you understand this, and you only can see this when you're not in debt. Mecca says, okay, you can't rip the benefits because anything extra you get goes towards. You can't rip the benefits because anything extra you get go towards your interest. I'm not sure what you're meaning by that, Mecca. Okay, you can't rip the benefits. I'm not reap the benefits. Oh, okay, you probably meant reap. You can't reap the benefits because anything extra yeah. Goes towards the interest of your debt. Okay, I see what you're saying. You can't reap the benefits. Okay, yeah. Nicer says, it's going to be okay to be out and about when the country clubs and other places wealthy can open back up. Yep. Places for wealthy people. You know, remember, wealthy is not, that doesn't mean a lot of money. That means you own the time in your life. Those are wealthy people. Nothing's worth more than time. Nothing. And if you own it, you're wealthy. That means you have all the time you wish to make as much money as you wish because you're wealthy. Now, anybody here have any questions about life on the north side of zero as a debt-free person? You know, thoughts of maybe you see some things going on and with just like a different perspective of what you should do, what you not should do, or why you should or why you shouldn't. And remember, every answer I give you will be mathematically true, mathematically correct, that you can use on your own calculator. All right. And even if you come to the channel and it kind of irritates you, the things I say, you got to ask yourself, but is his math right? If my math is right, then you got to ask yourself, why am I upset that his math is right? Oh, no problem, Mecca, man. I just was, and I like your questions, man. I appreciate your questions. Those are questions that I like because I know why you're asking them. And trust me, when you get out of debt, Mecca, you'll know when people ask you questions, you'll know why they're asking that question. You already know the answer to why they're asking that question because people in debt don't, how can I put this? They don't know why they ask the questions they ask. It's the funniest thing to be, you know, like when people call themselves homeowners knowing they got a mortgage, it's like, why are you saying that when you know it's not mathematically true? You know, you got to ask them that question. You really got to, people that believe they're homeowners, you go, why are you saying that? And you got a mortgage. Why are you saying that if you know it's not mathematically true? Why are you saying that? And then you got to make them answer. I say country club stuff. I say country clubs and stuff because they are not like small. They're not like small businesses opening too soon because they need money. You know, it's like, let's put it this way. When you get out of debt, you're going to naturally stop believing the rich or some evil entity that are hoarding money. Okay. Like, not, and I'm not saying you nice. I'm just saying in general to everybody, the whole room, with all these privileges that the normal people don't have and this and that. Yeah, that's all true because they have money. That's why they don't have to deal with certain things that broke people do. That's true. You know, it's like when you hear people say that, it's like, okay, cool. Then what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do to become wealthy or rich? What are you going to do so that can change for you? The only difference between the rich and the poor is mathematics. The rich believe in math, the poor do not. That's it. If you take that simple statement and apply it to your finances for the rest of your life, you will be rich. If it doesn't make mathematical sense, it doesn't make financial sense either. Ever. Hey, that car's $10,000, right? Yeah. How much is it if I finance it? Oh, if you finance it for 84 months, you'll be paying $15,000. And then you say to yourself, wait a minute, that doesn't make mathematical sense. And then if it doesn't make mathematical sense, it won't make financial sense either. See how easy I did that? I did it so simple. Yep, that doesn't make mathematical sense, so I better not do it. Okay, leave. Cosmic says, I don't know about being totally debt free before putting money in 401k. It depends on your debt amount. You can do both at the same time. In some cases, you can't. That's mathematically impossible, Cosmic. You cannot put money in 401k at the same time you're in debt. I can prove it. Add up all your savings, add up all your debt. Savings minus debt equals how much money you have to put away in your 401k. See how I did that? Add up all your savings, add up all your debt. Savings minus debt equals how much money you have to put away in your 401k. If that's in the negative, that's mathematically impossible. You can't do it. I know many people think they can do it at the same time, but don't fool yourself. Math is an exact science. That means it's never wrong. Mecca says, right, people believe that if they save money in some aspects, then it's their money. But as long as you're in debt, it's not your money. It's not even, hey Mecca, it's not their money. The money doesn't even exist. Money doesn't even exist for people. If somebody had $100,000 in student loan debt and $10,000 in cash under their mattress, you know what? They will believe $10,000 is underneath their mattress when they're negative $90,000 in the hole. The $10,000 under their mattress doesn't even exist. Now go try and tell somebody in debt that, hey man, you know, if you have $100,000 in student loan debt and you got $10,000 under your mattress, you know that's only negative $90,000. That money's really not there. Try to tell somebody in debt that, hey man, you know that $10,000 you hold in your hand? Yeah, that's not real. Go try it. Go try it. Cosmic says, I did, and investments far outweighed my debts because I invested early and have tripled it in quarter. All I'm saying is this, Cosmic, but is my math right? I know what you did, you know, and I'm not arguing. Those of you guys that know the room, I'm not. But I'm saying like this. This is all I'm saying to you, Cosmic, and I want you to answer me honestly. Is my math right? If somebody adds up their savings and their debt, and their savings minus debt equals their net worth, if their net worth is in the negative, it's mathematically impossible for them to invest in a 401k. Am I right? Gabriel says broke people want to be rich to impress other broke people. That's the only people they impress. You know why? Because what they see on TV as rich people, that's not true. That's TV. If rich people act like what you saw on TV, they wouldn't be rich anymore. They'd be broke. Whoop. Cosmic says, but what if my savings are 10 times my debt? I'm still north of it. What if my savings is 10 times my debt? Correct. Mathematically, you are correct. Yes. If your savings is 10 times, that's what I'm saying. Mathematically, yes, you're correct. But all I'm saying to you, Cosmic, if the person's finances are in the negative, is my math correct? That's all I'm saying. If your savings are 10 times your debt, you're still north of zero. The answer is yes, mathematically. But if they add up their savings and debt and they're in the negative, is my math correct? That's all. SR says, I'm at 24,600. Won't be there long though. Okay, congratulations. SR says you just have to do the math. Savings minus debt. That's it. Savings minus debt. It always answers all the questions. Yet I track my debt to the penny and make extra payments regardless. Your math is right, but your SMD number will be lower. Yes, and that's all I'm saying, Cosmic. All I'm saying is my math right. That's the only answer I want to hear from anybody. I just go, hey, but is my math right? Yeah, okay, then that's all that matters. That's all that matters. I would strongly discourage anyone that doesn't have at least 40% of their annual gross salary in saving money market account to pay their taxes. I would strongly discourage anyone that doesn't have at least 40% of their. And see, even with that, and when you're not in debt, you always have money. So you really don't even have to think about putting 40% away in money market account. I'm not saying not do it. I'm just saying when you're in debt, you don't think about numbers like that. You just probably would double check to make sure they're taking out the proper taxes and you're paying blah blah blah. But you won't worry to say, oh my God, I hope I have 40% of this and that in there to pay the taxes, because you're always going to have it. I promise you. You're always going to have it. So you don't even have to think about that, because you'll know how to pick the right people. Hey, I'm gonna have somebody do my taxes. Yeah, let me see your credit report first. They probably say, why? I want to see if you're in tax trouble. If you're in tax trouble, you're not doing my taxes. That doesn't even make sense. Like, imagine, and half the people that do other people's taxes, they don't even know. What if you choose a tax person that has student loans older than their children, and they're in tax trouble themselves, and they're doing your taxes? How many people you think check that? Not many. Cosmic says, because you lost time, which is what investment need to grow. Again, it's not even, it's like a null point. It's impossible. It's not an option. See what I'm saying? It's not an option. It's not. That's what I want people to understand is something. You cannot, it's mathematically impossible to invest in anything when you're in debt. Okay? If you keep that logic with you, I promise you will be rich. If you put your foot down and say, if it's not mathematically true, it's not true. If you have $50,000 in student loan debt and you got $2,000 that you're going to quadruple, you got $2,000 cash that you're going to invest in that thing that's going to quadruple its price in 5 years and blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you something. 2,000 minus 50,000 is negative $48,000. That $2,000 is not in your hand. It's not even an option. Stop thinking you have an option. Cosmin says, if you focus on paying down debt first, my investments wouldn't be where they are now. They would 60. I'm not arguing with you what you did. I'm not arguing with you what you did, Cosmic. I swear to God, I believe you. I believe what you did do whatever you're saying and do. I don't doubt a word you're saying. All I'm saying is that when you're in debt, that's impossible. That's mathematically impossible. But you chose instead you chose to believe it's true. So you gambled, and hey, it was true. That's it. But it's a belief. You believed it. I'm only talking mathematically. If you're in the negative, money doesn't exist. Like, for example, people don't even understand money doesn't even exist when you're in debt. So put it this way so you guys can understand something, okay? Say like the price of gold is $2,000 an ounce and you're $50,000 in student loan debt. The price of gold minus your student loan debt is negative $48,000. The price of gold doesn't mean anything to you. Nothing. The price of gold doesn't matter to you. It doesn't matter. But if you believe it matters, you go right ahead and do whatever you believe you're going to do to quadruple something, do something. Say like silver was $1,000 an ounce. $1,000 minus $50,000 in student loan debt is negative $49,000. The price of silver means absolutely nothing to you. Nothing. Cosmo says, yet I track my debt to the, oh, I think I said it already. Okay. Oh, yeah, I did already. Okay. If you focus on paying down debt first, we did that. But it's not for newbies. It requires that what you do, what you're talking, Cosmic. People they didn't grow up with your background. See, that's different for you. And when you talk like that, the question I say to you, who are you talking to, the majority or the minority? You know good and well the minority have done what you did. The minority. The only people I'm talking to are the majority. The majority have not a clue of how much debt they're in. Not even a clue. How you gonna count to 1 million if you don't even know where to start? You don't even know where to start. Sharif says, LJ, what do you think about flipping houses? Let me see your credit report first, and then I can answer your question, Sharif. Your credit report will tell me if you should be flipping houses. And anybody that suggests you flipping houses, you ask to see their personal credit report too. You say, hey, you want me to do what? Start flipping houses? Yeah, let me see your personal credit report. And it will tell me if their personal credit report will tell you if they're successful at flipping houses. Because usually people that are flipping houses, they'll tell you about all the money they're making. Oh, I'm doing this and making that and triple and quadrupling this and that and bloggity blah, this and that. And you say, cool, let me see how successful you are. How you do that? Let me see your personal credit report, the whole thing. No, not your credit score. I said your entire credit report. It will tell me if you're successful at flipping houses. Nigel says, getting out of debt is not like weight loss. Some with good genetics can eat junk and shed fat, and others eat junk and gain fat. Yeah, that's true. Everybody got to pay down their debt by sacrificing, which is the those in debt don't even know that the pain of paying back that debt is part of the process. When I had to pay back, get up, go to work, and know when my check comes that I was going to mail it off to debt, that hurt, man. Check after check after check for 2 years straight. 2 years straight. 2 years of doing that. Once I'm on the other side, it was worth it. Oh man, it was worth it. That was a lesson. That's a lesson that I will never ever forget ever. Do you know what it's like to even think about financing a car for 5 years? That sounds like financial suicide to me. Cosmic says, true, LJ, and nicer. Yes, I sacrificed along the way as well. Yeah, you are the minority, Cosmic. You're the minority. You are not the majority. You are not the majority. And see, that's how those big guys, Grant Cardone and what's his name, good Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. Broke people think those guys are talking to them. So when you say, hey, LJ, I did this and I invested in that, because broke people think you're talking to them, and you're not talking to them. Because as soon as they hear me say you can't, and then they watch Cosmic say, hey, Cosmic Wisdom did it. Yeah, I know Cosmic Wisdom did it, but she's not talking to you if you're broke. Good luck explaining that. I can't explain. Yeah, I know what Cosmic's saying, but it's really that's a minority. That's not the majority. You are part of the majority because you're in debt. So don't try to listen to what she's saying is right. Yes, yeah. I know it. Well, what you're saying, Linnell, she's wrong. No, I'm not saying she's wrong. I'm just saying she's wrong for you. She's right for the minorities, but she's just wrong for you. What do you mean she's wrong for me? Because you're in debt. Herbert Walker says the real wealth building comes after paying off your debt. You ain't lying, Herbert. Man, you're going to respect. Let me tell you something. When you get out of debt, everything you buy with cash, you're going to respect it more than you've ever respected anything that you financed in your life. I promise you. You respect it 10 times more. And this is how you kind of point out the people that live this way. Like, say like they have a real older car, but it's really, really clean. That's kind of a sign. Like you see an older model, whatever, Lexus, but that thing it looks damn near like it still came off the showroom floor. That's usually a sign. Okay. Herbert Walker says, being debt free gives you the freedom to start a new life. Ain't that? Hey, Herbert, I'm glad you said that. You know why? I'm glad you said that. Had I not become debt free, there is no way I could have made the move from Seattle, Washington to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. There's no way I could have did that. No way. Only becoming debt free allowed me to do that, to just pack up the little stuff I had and put it in the back of a thing and just drive it down across country. Man. Cosmic wisdom says, I keep forgetting that, LJ. I want everybody in the minority. I know Cosmic. It's so easy to do. You're like, you got to step back and say, oh damn, that's right, I'm talking to minority. Yep, you are. You're talking to minority. And your way, I'm sure, I'm sure your way is right, but not for somebody in debt. They're gonna be like, oh, I can do what she did it, I can do it. Well, yeah, yes and no. Okay, yes and no. Yes and no. What do you mean yes and no? God, Cosmic, she's all yours. I'm out of here. Gabriel says Grant Cardone is cash is dumb. I don't follow. This is me. I don't really follow people that flash a lot of stuff. I just don't do that, right? And this is why. Because they're putting it in your face for a reason. People in debt don't really understand that that's a diversion. And I get it. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking what they do. I'm not knocking Grant Cardone. I'm not knocking anybody like him that flash a lot of cars and houses and vacations and boats and stuff like that. I'm not knocking it because I know its purpose. To me, when I see it, it's an irritating, like a gnat. Imagine a gnat buzzing around your face and you just can't get rid of it. That's what stuff like that. I'm just like, will you stop? Will you be still? Stop walking around. Why are you showing everything in your house? I don't care where you live. I don't care what kind of car you drive. I don't care how much stuff you got in your house. I don't want to see the Rolls Royce symbols on your seats in the back. I don't want to see that. What are you talking about? See what I'm saying? So anybody that does stuff like that, I don't listen to them. I don't follow them. It's like you're talking about finance. Why you got the Lamborghini behind you? What's that got to do with what you're saying to me right now? You're talking about money, but you got a Lamborghini with the Lamborghini door open in the back. Why is that there? Dave Bourne says that is true, Herbert. Sharif says, L, this debt-free life is hard. I know people in debt living a better life than me. That's an illusion. Sharif, if you believe they are, that's an illusion. Okay. You just believe they are. That's a belief. Debt-free life is not hard at all. Debt-free life is the best life ever on earth. There is nothing like debt-free life. Nothing. Your economic proof, your pandemic proof, your job layoff, big company layoff proof, nothing will surprise you proof. Nobody, your manager not talking to you bad proof. Nobody's asking you to be a team player, working for free proof. You're not any of that. You're protected from all that. Don't be jealous of people making car payments and mortgage payments, man. Don't look at people thinking they're living better than you, because they're not. They're slaves in debt. In order to keep that house and their car, they got to get up by 7, 6, 7, 8 a.m. every single day. And those are the regular work hours, the 8 hours. That doesn't include the time they give away for free. When they got that electronic leash on their hip, when they can be contacted via email, phone call, text message, that's 24 hours a day. You think people in debt know they got? I remember, hey, check this out. I remember, and I specifically remember this, and people joke about this. Oh man, you got that electronic leash? They think that shit is a joke. That was me. People in debt say what it is. Your cell phone, especially if your job is paying for it, that is an electronic leash to keep a hold of their slave. You are programmed. Listen, you are programmed to every beep and boop that sound that electronic leash makes. Anytime that makes a beep, your attention. I mean, I don't care if you're watching TV. You might be on your computer. You might even be playing with your children. You hear that thing go beep boop, your attention goes straight to there. That's a slave mentality. You're a slave to that leash. Don't believe me? Wake up in the morning and don't touch that phone the first thing you wake up. Don't touch it. Get up in the morning, right? Don't touch your phone until you leave to go to work. Guarantee you can't do it. People think they're getting over. Oh man, my job pays my phone bill. That's what you think. Sharif, you gotta. When I listen to you, Sharif, you're still in the debt matrix, man. Because you say things. I promise you this. This is why I'm creating the paid side, because this is important. I promise you, only people in debt say the things you say. Like this debt free life is hard. No, it's not. Maybe because you're brand new. Maybe that is it. Maybe because you're brand new. Gabriel says, Sharif, I thought that was true here in Miami, but it's not. Trust me. See, he's been in it a little bit longer. He went through his phase. I thought Gabriel was gonna go crazy for a minute. I can't believe people do that. I can't believe I can't believe that. Oh my God, Gabriel, calm down, man. It's true. All right, you gonna be all right. I thought he was gonna start speaking Spanish in a minute. Gabriel says, I got out of the crack. I got out of the crack in the debt matrix. Yeah, you were stuck in the. You were. I got. That's a good analogy. I like that. You were stuck in the crack in the debt matrix. Your foot was caught, and you couldn't figure out why your foot was caught in there, right? And I just came along and had my little mathematical shovel, and I just scooped your foot right out of there. And said, "Here you go, Gabriel. That was easy." You were like, "Damn, that was easy." It wasn't even stuck. No, it wasn't even stuck in that bad. You just needed the right shovel to get you out. There you go, Gabriel. Enjoy your life. Go be rich. Herbert Walker says, I would never have been in the position to retire and start a new life if I wasn't debt free. Right. You see, you guys listen to what Herbert said? He wouldn't even have been in the position to retire, let alone start a new life. You know, let me give you guys some examples of what has happened in my life since I've become debt free. First, I quit my job. And these are all things that people can't even fathom. Met the woman of my life, and she lived across the United States from me. But since I was debt free, I went across back and forth, dated for 2 years, living in Seattle while she lived in South Carolina. Flew back and forth across the United States like it was living across the street. It was nothing. I made a commercial with, whoever you guys sports fans in here, Russell Wilson, the Seahawks quarterback. I made a commercial with him. I made a commercial with the Seahawks quarterback. Sure did. Now, to me, it wasn't a big deal. It's like, okay, he's just I'm not a sports person, But I got to remember, I've done something. These are the things I'm telling you guys that the average person will do or never will do. These are the things that happened to me. I made a commercial with them, 3 of them to be fact. The matter of fact, 3 of them, but I only tell people about one because you only can see me in one. Went to family reunions, me and my girl flying back and forth across the United States. And then when it's time for me to move to where I just packed up my truck and did a cross, me and her, my girlfriend and I did a cross country trip from Seattle, Washington to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, all the way across. All because I chose to do it. And to top it all off, every single minute of my life within those last 5 years, I have owned. See what I'm saying? Things that if you don't, and it all starts with check it out. It all starts with trusting mathematics. That's it. That's it. Dark Man says, I hated hearing my phone go off in the middle of the night when I was in management. Me too. And you know what's crazy, Dark Man? I remember that happening to me, even when I wasn't on call. I remember having this feeling when I was waking up. I had a feeling saying, man, that ain't right. Nobody listens to that voice. Everybody has it. Your phone rings in the middle of the night, and then you know you're not on call. There's a voice that says, man, that ain't right. You shouldn't be answering the phone in the middle of the night. Nobody listens because it's true. The voice I'm the voice that's telling you this. This is the voice that you're hearing. You know why it's not right. You're right. It's not right. You know why you're doing it? Because you're in debt. The voice just didn't complete the sentence for me. Because I didn't know, because it's really me. That's why if I would have known, that would have been, but the reason why you're accepting that, and I did it for years, I've accepted it because I was in debt. I remember I would get calls in the middle of the night and still be expected to show up at the office at 8 a.m. What does that sound like to you? That's slavery. Sharif says, I'm not new to being debt free. It's just the slave masters are always giving out toys for payments. Yeah, but you know what? You gotta ignore the majority. This is what I say. I talk about the slaves, but the slaves are needed. Slaves are the engine of the economy, the debt matrix. They are the engine. We are the oil. Okay, the government is putting oil in the engine. Right now, what's going on? I keep repeating this. Imagine the engine's getting an overhaul. The engine is getting rebuilt. And then as soon as it's rebuilt, they're going to put the slaves back in it. Hence, businesses opening back up. First, they have to take all the slaves out. Listen, the oil change, right? First, they got to empty to get all the sludge out by stopping all the businesses. Then they change the oil. And then now they put the slaves back in the engine to get, they push the pistons of the engine. I don't know how many pistons this engine got, but it got a lot. Probably got millions of pistons. Who knows? All of those pistons need to be pushed by slaves. Slaves push those pistons. We need them. And you got to, if you accept that, Sharif, that they must be here and they're doing it by choice, because when I say they're doing it by choice, they're choosing not to believe, they're choosing not to trust mathematics. It's not even a belief. I've been saying that wrong. They're choosing not to trust mathematics. And since they choose not to trust it, they're choosing to be a slave to the matrix. Cosmic says, if you got great skills, you don't have to agree to have a company phone. True. Don't let them get you on that leash. Yeah, if I have to go back to the working world or the computer world or whatever, right? I will have a separate phone. I will not add their email, give my phone number to, they're gonna have the work. I'm gonna have a work phone where they can contact me on, period. Cosmic says, newsflash, U.S. government said they are stopping the extra $600 if you refuse to go back to work. If your employer offers you to return to work, Yep, that's exactly Cosmic. I saw that. Now, check this out. They said if your employer says come back to work and you choose not to, you're $600. Stop. So what they're saying is this: now you're going to go back to work and make less, but actually work. They're putting the slaves back in the engine. Because if you're debt free, you'll say, hell no, I ain't doing that. So say like you were working, right? But you were debt free. And then all of a sudden they got this pandemic came out, everybody got put home, they're getting all this extra money, blah, 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 right? That extra unemployment money is just stacking all on. It's just stacking on top of all the money you have already, right? You're just stacking, and then they say, "Hey, by the way, you're coming back to work, and you're going to make 20%. You're going to make 20% less. You're going to make 20% less. You're going to work 50% less hours than the 600. If you were debt free, you just say, "I quit. No, thank you. I don't want that. I quit." Because you wouldn't care. First of all, you wouldn't go back to work for less money, and you of course your $600 is going to stop, but you're not going to really care because you're not in debt. Crazy. Find your passion. I promise you, you find your passion, people will see it. How do you know it's going to be your passion? People will tell you. They will see it in you. Once you find your passion, you'll get this confidence in you that you never knew you had, right? Excuse me. That you never knew you had. You'll have this amazing confidence. That's the best way I can describe it. People will see it, and they just naturally become attracted to you, right? In a world of non-trust, become trustworthy, right? Once you become trustworthy, people will pay you what you're worth. That's how it works. Sharif says, L, if the slaves stopped working, do you think the world would go into chaos? Yes, it would. That's why I keep saying, listen, this is why I think another stimulus package had to happen. I keep telling people this. I'm not going by I don't go by what the government, Democrat, Republican say, hey, we're going to pass this. We're going to put that, we're going to veto it. We're not going to do this and that. I don't really listen to any of that. I watch people. There are no jobs. People can't pay their mortgage. 50% less job, 50% less hours at 20% less pay. That means there's no money to pay, not only pay your mortgage and your rent, you can't even pay your lights, you can't even buy food, you can't even put gas in your car. These guys got car payments, they got student loan payments. You think that would be pure chaos? There would be crime written through the street. It has to come. They have, in my opinion, this is my opinion, this money has to keep coming until the economy can come back on its feet. It has to. It's not coming back anytime soon. At 50% capacity, that's impossible. That's not happening. That's mathematically impossible. So you think people are going to starve? You think they're going to let their kids starve? No, they're going to steal. If it's up to them between being on the streets with no food and water, they're going to steal. This right now, you guys have no idea. This is an all-time high for scammers. All time. Pandemic time is an all-time high for scammers. This is where they make the most money in pandemics. People's fear at their highest. They will believe anything. They will believe a fake check. They will believe getting some money for nothing. Put in 800, put in 100, get back 1,500. They will believe it all because they're in debt. They're in fear of losing things. So they're gonna look at the casinos, a line around the corner. They just, hey man, I'm gonna take this money. I'm gonna flip it in the casino. That's what you think. You better believe those casinos are opening up. All a casino is hope and wishing. Dave Bourne says, I know a friend who did exactly that, refused to go back to work. She didn't make sense at first. After some thinking, I understood her reasoning. Exactly. Only people in debt, only people not in debt can make those kind of decisions. Only people in debt can say, no, thank you. I can't wait till it open back up. Oh, that's what you think? Open back up to what? What's going to happen after it opens back up? You think things are going to go back to normal? What? I don't get what you're saying. Black Knight says that $600 was to assist high-income people that lost their jobs, not low-income people earn more sitting home. Exactly. Mathematically, that's true. Sure is. Cosmic Wisdom says people in forbearance are getting breaks. Governments are now allowing them to refinance as well as buy homes, which doesn't make sense. People in forbearance are getting breaks. Government now allowing them to refinance as well. It makes sense to me, Cosmic. They're locking by refinancing their house. They're locking them into the price, into the value of their house today. That's what they're doing. Because next year, 2021, 22, there's going to be a housing market crash and nothing's going to stop it. Nothing's going to stop it. So if they allow them to refinance their house, they're locking them into the value of their house, because people in debt, they believe the housing market prices right now they're just illusions. They're inflated illusions, right? So now if they can refinance their house, pull out equity and cash, people in debt think they're winning because they have money to sit on because they have no job. I get why they're doing it. It makes sense. I mean, if I was in debt, I would believe that too. Pull out some money. It would help me survive. I can buy food, pay my car, blah, blah, blah with the equity. Little did I know, now I'm being locked into the value of my house, which is not going to be that value come next 2 to 5 years. It's not going to be there. But now within those housing market crash years, if I can even keep the house, right? I'm gonna be paying a mortgage on something that's not even a quarter of the price, worth a quarter of the price, but I'm locked in. It says people will often say you're so good at it and give you compliments when you're doing what you're passionate from my view and experience. Yeah. People will often say you're so good at it and give you that's how it is, because it's natural. People want to be inspired by other people doing it, right? You got to do it to inspire somebody. You can't just say it. And especially not only do it, you got to prove it, right? By doing it. Nobody would believe me if I say, hey man, it's a phenomenal life when you quit your job, and I never quit my job. They wouldn't understand what I'm saying, because I never did it. Hell, I wouldn't even know what I was saying if I'm telling you to quit your job and I've never quit my own job, you know? NC Big says, LJ, it's a comedy, but watch Dick and Jane. Perfect example of what will happen to this country. Dick and Jane. Is that a show, or are you talking about the book? What are you talking about? Quentin says, my coworker told me about this investment where you can invest $500 and get 2 other people. I already know what that sounds like. MLM, and other 2 people to join, and even each of us will get $4,000 a month. Whoa! But I am not falling for that. See, does that sound even real? That doesn't even sound real to me. I wouldn't even check this out. This is the difference, Quentin. This is the difference. I wouldn't even tell any of my friends about that. I wouldn't even tell them, hey man, I heard I would be embarrassed to tell my friends that people that know about money, especially, I can't even imagine coming on the Discord, SMD Discord server and say, hey, check this out, guys. Man, I found this deal, man, where you can invest $500 and you'll get back $4,000 a month. I couldn't even imagine saying that. I couldn't even imagine saying that. Couldn't even imagine it. Oh, okay. I'm gonna check it out. It's a movie with Jim Carrey. All right, I'll try that out. Cosmic Wisdom says that's not an investment, Quentin. That's a pyramid scheme. Sure is. Sure is. It's a pyramid scheme. But when you're in debt, I've seen so many on YouTube and stuff like that. I've been seeing all these. Oh, shout out to Quentin for the $5 Cash App donation. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Appreciate you. Let me put that up there. I'll be talking so much and nobody knows that. And here is my website, SavingsMinusDebt.com. Donations are much appreciated, especially during this pandemic. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm doing everything I can not to have to go back to work. Believe that. Dave Bourne says, I think when the quarantine is fully lifted, the economy is still going to continue to on downturn. Oh yeah, it's going down. Nothing's stopping that. Housing market crashes. Nothing stopping the housing market crash. Nothing. And people always ask me, LJ, how do you know that? This is the simplest way I can say it. Millions of people out of work with no jobs to even get to pay the mortgage. Housing market crash. Right? It's not even, listen, millions of people are not working. It's not even a choice or not if they can pay their mortgage. It's not even a choice. That is an unstoppable housing market crash. You know, and when I hear people say, "Oh man, I can't believe," and listen to this. I want you to listen. This is the north side of zero. Oh man, I can't believe these landlords are going to be kicking them people out. You think they have a choice? The majority of those landlords are just as in trouble as their renters. Don't be fooled because you believe they own the property that they must have money. That is not true. That's why I'm telling you. That's why this is an oil change, this is a whole engine overhaul. If they don't kick those people out of their properties, they're going to lose the whole property. You're going to get kicked out anyway. Because once they lose it, you're getting kicked out. Oh my God, I can't believe the landlords are doing eviction. Of course they are. And people in debt, they think, oh man, you're gonna have to have good credit to rent. No, you're not. Do you think landlords are just as in trouble? They're going to be lowering the requirements. You're not going to have excellent credit. There are millions of people out of work. Okay, if they didn't accept people with less than excellent credit, they would not get rented. You think even when they get the people out, you think they're still going to be able to charge the same rent? No, they're not. See, imagine these landlords, some of these ones that are desperate, they've been riding in debt, they're not going to survive. There's nothing you can do you might as well just let it go. Let me tell you guys something. If you're a landlord in debt right now, your best bet just to let your house go. Let it go. Let it go. Because if you're desperate to get, like, you got to hurry up and get them out because you need that $2,000 a month, you're already in trouble. You're already in trouble. Can you imagine how long that process is going to be to get people evicted? Oh my God, that's going to be a long process. A long process. At 50% with social distancing, oh my God. Good luck. That process, ooh. But anyway, everybody's suffering, okay? And some of you guys out there, I feel for you. I feel for the ones that might be renting, from a person and they pay their rent on time every day, and then you find out that your landlord hasn't been doing their money right, guess what? You're going to get kicked out. You're getting kicked out. Even if you paid your rent on time. If they didn't, man. Oops. Gabriel says, I'm going to watch The Big Short today. Man, that's good. You're gonna understand it way better, Gabriel. You're gonna understand. You're gonna look at this, hey, Gabriel. When you watch that movie, this is what I want you to do. I want you to pay attention in the movie how they make the main guy sound like he's some kind of smart genius, smart know-it-all, that he knew something that the majority of people didn't know. And I just want you to look at it and say, no, now you just believed in mathematics. It's obvious. Pay attention to that. And when you see him, Gabriel, look at that character on the TV screen. That's how your friends and family are going to look at you. They're going to look at you like the guy in the movie. But even though you're not like the guy in the movie because you're just using mathematics, they're going to think you look like the guy in the movie. Because you got to remember like this. When you understand mathematics and how the money thing works, when you see a movie of it, this is the best way they can describe what's happening on a screen for people to see it. Like when you see it right now, like we see it in this group, right? We see it's just mathematics. This does that. Now try to put that vision on a movie screen. No different than the Matrix. No different than it's not happening the way it's happening on the Matrix, but that's the best way they can illustrate it to a person. Because when I call it the debt matrix, people will assume the movie and they assume a box and people doing it. I get it. Dave Bourne says, my super told me only 4 people in one of his buildings paid rent. Yep, the last 2 months. It is a 20-family unit. Then he told me the landlord couldn't pay him until the end of the month either. See how it trickles? Everybody is affected. This is a major overhaul. This is a major overhaul. NC Big says, I'll be watching that soon. Fun with Dick and Jane. LJ, my bad. Okay. Cosmic says, where are you? Oh, okay. Sharif says, the movie Big Short showed me this whole thing is a big scam. It's not a scam. It's a system. When you call it, think about it this way, Sharif. When you see something and call it a scam, the next thing I want you to say is it legal what they're doing? Anything you look at and say you believe, hey, tax is a scam, or are they doing something different than to do this and save taxes here, you got to stop and ask yourself, is it legal? Yeah, then it's not a scam, it's legal. Gabriel says, so LJ, if I pay rent every month on time and my landlord doesn't pay it, I get kicked out? Yes. Because if your landlord owes, your landlord's paying money to the bank. If you don't pay the money to the bank, the bank repossesses and kicks you out. That's exactly how it works. People don't really understand how this really, they think things are going back to normal. It's not even close. At least for 3 to 5 years, at least. Darkman says, I can't wait to move out on my own after everything is well with my mom. Taking this opportunity now to pay off a chunk of this debt, end up running to a landlord with 6 months rent up front. Yeah, you don't leave your house until all of your debt, not a chunk, Darkman, all of it. Vinay, I hope I said that right. I have a rental property. I've been lucky. My tenants have been paying. And see what I'm saying? Lucky. You see what I'm saying? It's just those things you got to remove from your. It's like, what if you wasn't lucky? Would you be in trouble right now? Would you be in financial trouble if you wasn't lucky? You remove the luck by getting out of debt. You get out of debt, removes luck. So if they didn't pay, yeah, you'd be bothered, like, hey, man, you ain't pay your rent, but it won't affect you like that. You're like, hey, okay, all right, you got one more month. If you don't pay, you just start the eviction process. And when you're at a debt, you already got that in place because that's a possibility, right? So you already have, when you have money, you already have the lawyer picked out, the lawyer firm, whatever that knows the process of eviction. And so you write it in your contract. Hey, you don't pay 30 days, this day, this happens, then you'll be evicted. Once they break the terms, you just pass it over to your lawyer and say, hey, this guy ain't did it. Okay, start the process. And then you just walk away. Cosmic says, if your landlord isn't good with money, he can lose the home, and the new owner may kick out the tenants with a written notice, depending on the state law. And FLA favor landlords via tenants. See what I'm saying? Why? Get out of that risk. If you're young, eliminate your job with your money is to eliminate risk. Own your home, free and clear. Okay, buy things cash. Eliminate risk. Yavane says, mobile home investing is my next investment. Buy some cheap land, throw a mobile home on it, pay cash for it, and have massive cash flow. Yeah, that's these new double wide homes they look nice. Gabriel says, I'm kind of worried. What you worried about? Yavane says, landlord still has a mortgage. Yep. That's why I was like, you can't help renters without help the landlords. Exactly. You can't. They go hand in hand. They go hand in hand. I advise people don't get a rental unless you're debt free. Don't get a rental. Anything that you have to add a person to the equation, that's risk to me. If there's more and more layers, like when if I ever become a renter, I mean not a renter, but a landlord, the layers between me and the renter are going to be many. It has to be that way because it eliminates the feelings part of it. This is just business. Yavane says, lucky, but I also have cash reserve in my case my tenants don't pay. That's a good thing. Very good thing. Many don't have that. NC Big says, debt free is the first best thing when you're in debt. You can still be rich. You still can be rich. Black Knight says, anything with wheels or motor is not an investment because it is a depreciating asset. Time is greater than money. Dark Man says, LJ, I have at least 5 to 7 years to pay off all this rent. I have a long way to go. What do you mean pay off all this rent? You mean pay off all this debt? You must mean debt. Yeah, but talking. Okay, yeah, you did mean. And you gotta remember, Dark Man. This is what I want you to understand when you say things like that. LJ, I still have at least 5 7 years to pay off all this rent. I have a long way to go. You have no choice. So if you choose to make it 5 to 7 years, that's what you're choosing, Dark Man. And if you move out before that, you're choosing to extend that time. So if you say to yourself, oh man, I can't wait to 5 7 years, you're stretching it now you're going to stretch it to 15 or 20 because you couldn't wait. So it's totally up to you, man. If you like, people in debt believe they have an option to do something, right? I don't feel like waiting to pay off debt, so I'm going to go buy a house now. Well, that's impossible, but I guess if you believe it's possible, I guess I can't do anything about that. You can't go up to a person that says things like that and say, hey, you know that doesn't make mathematical sense, right? They'll say to you, I don't care. I want what I want. Cosmic says, that's how people fall for these schemes, trying to double their money overnight. It doesn't work like that in most cases. It doesn't work like that at all, right? I mean, when you're debt free and you hear stuff like that, the first person that if somebody right now, especially if you're listening to this, anybody that's offering you some kind of scheme that's going to double, quadruple your money overnight, ask to see their personal credit report. It will tell you why they're trying to sell you this scheme. Oh, excuse me. It'll tell you why. Their personal credit report will tell you why they're trying to sell this scheme to you. It's so easy. You know, when you're debt free, you know how easy it is to find a scammer? Nothing they say will ever make mathematical sense, ever. It will never make mathematical sense. That's how you know it's a scam. Hey, give me 100, I'll give you back 8. Does that make mathematical sense to you? No, then it's a scam. Where else can you get something like that? Nowhere. It's a scam. Is it legal? Okay, whatever. Make your money. I think, like, for example, MLM, it's a business. Is it a scam? No, it's a legal business. Dark Man says, it's a lot of humble pie I have to eat in order to get on this side of debt-free journey. Well, time to get a slice. Dark Man, if you ever want to be north of zero, you gotta stop talking. You're speaking things into existence. I know people don't believe that, but when you say things like that out loud, that's what you're telling the universe. The universe is feelingless. It just gives you what you ask for. Okay. It figures, you got to think about it this way. If you're saying it out loud, the universe must believe what you're saying. Hey man, it's going to take me 5 to 7 years to pay off this debt. The universe responds with, oh, okay, well, I get 5 to 7 years it is. The universe just responds to what you give. Like a lot of people, if you notice on social media, people love talking about how broke they are. They even compare it to each other in front of everybody on social media. Compare to each other how they're broke. Oh, I'm poor, I'm broke. Well, they're saying this out loud, and the universe is hearing them. So the universe responds with, "Oh, okay, you're broken poor. I guess that's what you want to be. You're laughing about it, so laughter must mean happy. Okay, well, you're broken poor. It's totally up to you." This is why I created my new service, and it's working out well. I want people to understand that it's just not a one-time shot. You can't just say it's not like I just create this plan for you and say, here, go on your way, do your thing. It doesn't work like that. We have to remain in constant contact. We have to. You're going to have questions. You're going to have a million of them too. If you think people have these kind of questions and they're not even debt free, imagine the questions when you get to an area that you've never been in your life, the north side of zero. You've never been there in your life. You think you're just going to come over here and know how everything works? No, you're not. And guess what? You're not going to have many people to ask either. That bucket of people becomes very few. The bucket of people that can answer the question the way you need it to be answered, which is mathematically correct, right? Those are the people that you're going to need to be with, that you're going to be in contact with. People that understand that there is no way to invest while you're in debt. That's impossible. When people in debt believe hey, you should rent versus mortgage. It doesn't matter if you're in debt. If you're in debt, you have no option but to rent. You're in debt. You have no money to buy a house. That's not even an option. You don't say things like that out loud in public. Dark Man says LJ is right. Can't argue with the math. Jay-Z said it best. Men and women, men lie, women lie, but numbers don't. Sure don't. They don't never lie. No, math is an exact science. It's never wrong, ever. It's never wrong. Cosmic says mobile homes are recession proof, and yeah, I heard they make bank, but some trailer parks come the drama, which is okay if you have the personality for it. Yeah, and it counts on, and you got to remember, try not to think of the trailer parks you see on TV and movies. because there's some nice ones. Okay, there's some double wide home trailer parks, but they're not called trailer parks. They're called, what's the new one? Modular homes, right? It's not even called trailers. They're called modular homes. Modular homes, and they are nice. Me and my girlfriend, but we've been looking at them bad boys. Those are nice. Check them out on YouTube. Just type in modular homes. They guys be giving tours of these homes. These are nice, man. I don't care what anybody says. Yavane says, I'm not pointing it in a I'm not putting it in a trailer park. I am buying some land and paying cash to put it on private land and renting it for 14. Oh, that's smart. I think it's smart what you're doing if you get it. But remember, I don't know when you're planning on doing that, but I wouldn't do it right now. I wouldn't buy no type of property right now. There was no way I'd buy anything right now. Because your rental property now, Yavane, it's the value of your house wherever you're renting is about to plummet. So buying something right now would be buying something at the height of the illusion. And I wouldn't want you buying something now believing that you're going to get, $1,400 a month somewhere that's going to produce that. It's not. There's barely going to be anybody with a job to be able to pay $1,400 in rent, let alone with good credit. I just wouldn't do it right now, honestly. Cosmic Wisdom says, oh, there are some really nice trailer parks around. Indeed. And some are not. It's a spectrum. Just like neighborhoods. Yeah, it's no different. Same thing in neighborhoods. Yeah. Just people just separate trailer parks for some reason. Yavane says, yeah, I'm paying cash. I'm in a military town. Even by paying cash right now, I'm just saying I wouldn't buy anything because you're going to be paying the value of a property of the value of what it is today. And it's not going to be like that next year. I have an unlimited supply of tenants. Oh, because it's a military town. Yeah, I guess that's a plus for you because the military, they're not going to run out of money. That's for surely not going to stop. So you are exactly right. But as far as the property itself, like I would wait till the housing market. If you're going to pay cash, Yavane, I would wait till the housing market crash. By that time, you could probably get 2 houses for the price of what you would pay for 1 house today via market value, via foreclosure, via tax liens. I would just wait. Mobile home investing is not for appreciation and is for cash flow only. Get it? I get it. Right now, you wait till next year and you try to get you want to get a mobile home to put on. I guarantee you next year, I bet you those mobile home places that sell the actual mobile homes or the modular homes, I bet you they're going to be giving some screaming deals. They probably already started right now. If you go look on some modular home or trailer homes right now, I bet you if you went there now, you'd probably get some. They probably got some screaming deals going on right now. And I haven't even looked. Yavane says mobile home investing is different from buying a house. You go to the DMV for the transaction. Wow, no closing costs. Hey, do your thing. Hey, I can tell by what you're saying. Do that move. Okay, do that move. Don't worry about that. Do that move, right? But again, everything is about to take a housing market crash. Everything. I'm just saying, if you got the money, 2021, you're gonna get 2 houses for the price of 1, if not 3. It's gonna be, man. I know Cosmic can't wait. I know she's licking her chops right now, just like, oh, come on, 2021. Come on. You can't get here fast enough. Be sure to join the Discord server. Thank you, Cosmic. Cosmic Wiz says, join if you haven't done so and check it out. Thank you, Cosmic. Yavane says, I can do both. What does that mean? You can do both of what? You can do both of what? I'm sitting on a pile of cash. That's cool. I just don't let it burn a hole in your pocket this year. Don't do that. Just wait 6 more months. Just be cool. Yeah, I wouldn't want you to buy a house cash right now and get one where you can get two. Gabriel says we're headed to an eviction crisis. Yes, that's why stimulus. I'm telling you guys, this is why, in my opinion, of why another stimulus package has to come. Because of that, I don't see any other way out of this. A stimulus package is the only way that's going to save this. It's the only way. Not even businesses. Listen closely. Not even businesses opening back up is going to save it. People can't pay their mortgages and they're on deferred payments, furloughed, or whatever you want to call it, deferred forbearance. However they decided to work with their mortgage company. They're behind and there's no jobs to oh my God, you guys don't see it. Like, I see a stimulus package coming because it has to come. Cosmic says, I'm in negotiation to buy a home now, but I'll be paying no more than $25K for a 3-bedroom one. Oh crap. Yeah, you can't. That sounds like an awesome deal to me. $25K for a 3-bedroom 1-bath now and do veteran housing for $1,300 if I get the offer. Yeah, now that's amazing. That's amazing price. That's all I'm saying. That's amazing. I'm saying if you're looking at a place that's going to cost you the regular value, say like the regular top value of a house is $200,000 in some neighborhood somewhere in America, right? That's an illusion inflated price because it's about to go bye-bye. It's just not my time, man. If I had some money to buy a house, I would be buying a house next year for sure. Believe that. Next year, 2021, 2022, nothing is stopping this housing market crash, man. Nothing can stop it except a big stimulus package, maybe. I don't know. To stop the housing market crash, even a stimulus package couldn't stop it. It could slow it down a little bit. Like right now, it's going. Imagine a big old ball running down a really, really steep hill at full speed, right? Look at a stimulus package as some kind of stuff you put on the maybe really, really thick mud. Like say like it's going down a hill and somebody sprayed a whole bunch of water on it, which made it thick mud. It would slow down the ball because the ball would be in the thick mud, but it doesn't quite stop it. Herbert says, LJ, I hope you're right. I'm looking to buy a house in 2021. I am right. And think about what I'm saying. Millions of people out of work with no jobs available, not even any jobs available to help them pay their mortgage, not even available jobs. That is guaranteed housing market crash. Guaranteed. This goes, and people just look at houses, okay? They just say, hey man, houses. I'm talking about apartment buildings, businesses. This is everything. This is just not a housing market crash. This is a business crash. See what I'm saying? Nothing is going to stop the housing market crash. To stop a housing market crash, that stimulus package would have to be the biggest in history. And you guys don't even realize the banks are going to win. Can you imagine? Imagine the percentage of FHA mortgages out there, VA mortgages, FHA mortgages, all backed by the government. All those subprime mortgages backed by the government. Guess what? When people can't pay their rent, the bank gets paid the full value of the house by you. You got an FHA mortgage, you promise the bank to say, hey, if I don't have the money, I go default, the government's going to pay my bill. And that's what they're going to do. And then people in debt, they're like, oh man, the government bailed out the banks. No, they didn't. That's what you signed up for. Yes, commercial real estate's going to crash too. Everything's going to crash. A lot of things are going to crash. Nothing's going to stop it. Stimulus money just slows. It's like, imagine it slowing down the imminent stuff, so at least the businesses can somehow get things going, get some traction going, because they really can't take off because of the not the stimulus money, but the social distancing. So yeah. And if you're financially free right now, hey, this is a lovely time for you. I can already tell by the way Yavane's talking. I could tell Black Knight, Cosmic, Herbert, man, about to take full advantage of this. Just, man, I'll be there. If you guys got any more questions, I'm gonna go ahead and get off here. John Kennedy says, I'm almost free, brother. Congratulations, man. I'll be the, hey, you come back here, you let the SMD family know, man, we will be the first ones to congratulate you when you make it. Because you can't get that kind of congratulations anywhere else, because nobody's gonna understand what you've achieved. Hey, people in debt, guess what? I have a net worth of 0. They're gonna be like, what? Why are you celebrating that? Having a net worth of 0? Doesn't that mean you're broke? Well, no, not really. Yes, it does. Okay, whatever. Gavin A says, debt free is the way to go. Best decision of my life. Sure is the best. It's the best decision I have ever made in my entire life. And I'm 50. I'm 50. I'm so glad I woke up at 40. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's late, whatever, but I'm still happy. I'm still young enough to make some stuff happen. I'm still young enough to become a multimillionaire. Still young enough. Nice as everyone dropping all the gems. Got the chat all sparky, sparkly. John Kennedy says, for sure, a love offering with your name on it. Hey, man, and I'm going to take it. You know why? Because I know what you did. I understand the feeling. I understand that feeling, because I remember when I was getting closer to 0 and you see that light, man, you see that light coming, you're like, oh my God. Oh my God, I can see the light and it's sunshine. But again, John, you can't go to somebody and say, hey, everybody, guess what? I have a net worth of 0. They're going to be like, what? Dark Man says, appreciate the reality check, LJ and SMD family. Seeing all my friends have homes and enjoying life does make me think I'm lagging behind. Yep, your fault. Don't fall for the illusion. It's all an illusion. It's just it's a trick. It's not real. Because you're still, you know what it is, Dark Man, you're still in the debt matrix. That's why you're falling for that stuff. It's just an illusion. They're not happy. They're not doing better than you. That's all a trick. Herbert Walker says, now that I'm debt free, I am relocating to a lower cost of living city, saving money and enjoying where you live. Just watch where everything's going, Herbert. Every place is going to be a low cost of living everywhere. Every place is going to be a low cost of living. I promise you. John Kennedy says, yep. Could see the finish line. You've opened my eyes since your appearance on the brochure. I appreciate that, man. It really surprised me that I'm not on more shows. I just can't. I don't really even get that. I get it and I don't get it at the same time. Nice. Says, I enjoyed life with no money, and Dark Man just gotta have the right attitude. Yeah, Dark Man, you just gotta understand that money is a tool, man. Don't fall for the illusion of people doing better. Because if you look on social media right now, you would, by looking at social media, you would think everybody is just okay. You know what I'm saying? Everything's cool, nothing's wrong, nobody has any problems, and they're just not showing you. But all you got to do is just look out. Millions of people out of work. That what you're seeing on social media is a lie. That's a trick. None of that's real. You see people buying houses and cars. That's a trick. All right, you guys have a good one. So like I said, the next now I'm gonna be putting up 2 videos from here on out. I'm gonna be putting up a video for the free side, and then I'm gonna be putting up videos for the paid side. And when that's up, I'll announce it on the Discord server when the paid side is up, and it'll be here on YouTube. It'll just be that join button. I'm just gonna have a join button where you just click on that, then you'll join, and however that's going to work, I'll explain it all once I know it, right? That way you guys can come in and get the real, and then you guys can come get the free, All right. So, all right, you guys have a wonderful day, a wonderful evening, excuse me. All right. Have a good one.